listen to my voice. You need to focus. I'm losing visual of you. In 2 seconds, I won't be able to track you. You need to detach. I can't see you anymore. Do it now.
That's fine.
One of my big frustrations with movies right now is that trailers ruin everything and interviews like this ruin everything.
Yeah.
So I
guess what? You're going to be pleasantly surprised. The same thing is going to happen.
No!
Yes.
I feel like what we should do, just like the way Alfonso made space silent, we should sit here in silence until it gets uncomfortable.
I so appreciated that.
Let's just,
okay, here you go.
until it gets weird.
Come on.
Houston, I've lost visual, Dr. Stone.
I'm so happy with the silence.
I'm going to go ahead and say you guys are going to win some Oscars. If you were going to give an acceptance speech today, what would you say?
I will accept the award for the reward that I got in this film already. You know, a man had this amazing story in his head, Alfonso. He and his son wrote it in a very personal, loving way about life, their life, and hardships in life. I got to come on board as a woman when it was easier probably to put a man in it. They didn't know how to explain it to me, but I let go and did it anyway because of those amazing people. And I got to work with hundreds of the most extraordinary artists and technicians and masterminds who all had been doing everything else until that day we started, where we were all doing the same thing, which was trying something that no one else had ever tried before, to execute this man's amazing story. And his want was for the audience to have a ride, an emotional ride, using technology, 3D formats that have never been used until we shot, in order to make you feel something about your life and yourself by the end of this film.
What did you discover about yourself while shooting it?
That I worry about way too much.
Houston, do you copy? Houston, this is Mission Specialist Ryan Stone. I am off structure and I'm drifting. Do you copy?
Oh yeah, I worry about way too much. And that there are unbelievably kind people on the planet in places you would never expect.
When you get into a creative endeavor like this, it is illuminating. I mean, even watching it, I feel like it's very illuminating. When I left, why are you getting emotional?
I don't know, it just it reminded me of that time there.
Anyone? Do you copy? Please copy.
When I walked out of this movie, I realized I was on the freeway and I was driving 45 miles an hour because I'm so overwhelmed.
You were in space.
I was. No, it was too much. My boyfriend had his head down. He was like, I can't look at the cars. It's just, it's too much. And I thought that was the feeling you must have had every day when you left set.
Well, you're deprived of things that were your comfort zone. And you know, we always think if we're deprived of our comfort zone, we're going to fall apart. When I think, in fact, depriving you of things that have become staple and sort of easy crutches are preventing you from those things are preventing you from living your authentic life. It's just a safety net, and it doesn't really, sure it works, you know, but you're not challenging yourself, you're not finding what you're made of, you're not surprising yourself, you're not shedding old skin that has no room anymore, you're holding on to it because it feels safe.
Yeah.
So I think that's what everyone felt in this thing, but you kept looking to Alfonso, who was absolutely calm this entire time. You looked to him and I was like, I'm lost and and he had such a calm and an understanding, and it always went back to who is she, where is she, what is the story we're trying to tell. Even though massive money and technology was swirling around, he always stopped and talked about what the emotional core of this film was. So as an actor, you were grateful. You still wanted to kill him on a daily basis, but at the end of the day, you know, you had an appreciation for just, you know, life in a different way. I mean, it sounds silly, but you know, there is something to be said for a group experiencing something at the same time in a new way that does cause a shift. It did cause a shift, and everyone there was just such hard workers, such kind people. and so supportive of each other. There was never a moment that anyone tried to outsmart or outdo someone, because you couldn't. Everyone had an amazing gift to add to this, and everyone was going to get their time. And it was just, I mean, when are you going to have that experience ever again? Probably never, but I had it.
I was speaking with Sandra, and as she discussed the filming process, she got very emotional. Why do you think this movie touched her so deeply that even talking about it brings tears to her eyes?
Wow, like big traumas?
She cried. I Barbara Walters'd her. All of a sudden, Sandra Bullock is crying. I made the nicest woman in Hollywood cry. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, my.
But I don't think it was me.
Dear.
I think it was residual trauma from you.
Okay, I get it. The thing is, what she brought to this film is something very magical. I mean, you can have all these visual effects and all these amazing visuals. I think the real visual effect and a spectacular explosion is her performance. Yeah, and it's even more of a miracle if you would see how she was crafting that performance and under which conditions she was performing. You know, because it was so technological, so filled with machines, so insulated, and actually very challenging physically. You know,
sure.
She was with all these rigs and stuff. She was working out like crazy. She started working out 5 months before we start shooting, just to get into the shape to be able to endure all these machines. But when she was performing, it was seamless. It's as if she was just floating in space and delivering great performances.
Did you purposefully isolate her so that she would have that sense of loneliness, or did you do anything to sort of bring that out of her?
Yeah, first I tried locking her in a basement.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, and then we'll feed her through a little door.
She's an actor. They eat very little.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. No, it was just a byproduct of all this technology that we were using. And the funny thing is that, in many ways, start mirroring what her character was doing. And so she was insulated there. And most of the scenes that we shot in that system were the scenes that she was insulated at her most. And then suddenly George Clooney comes, the scenes with George Clooney, and it was as if the circus arrived to town, you know, and we happened to be shooting with a different technology in which the two of them are together, and suddenly there was a new lightness in the set. So there was strange how suddenly the technologies were coinciding with the state of mind of the character.
I am so, so grateful to you for making space silent. I love that you did that. I feel like we should make part of this interview silent. I think we should just look at each other.
Wow.
Until it gets weird.
With cameras, even weirder.
Just shh.
Good job.